started a crypto and DeFi academy about 2 years ago, and I've graduated about 1,000 students from around the world.
Amazing.
And I try to explain to them what the banking system kind of does and how it's involved in so many aspects of your life, and it's taken out 6 to 8% of global GDP out of the economy every single year, and you have no idea.
Every single year.
Yeah, and I always tell them you have no idea it's happening, and this future is where you can actually, first of all, understand, control your money, which you've always been taught you don't understand your money, and it's for these experts over here, and you can also learn about your money, and then of course own your own data and just open up all these amazing innovations. You have a term called incumbent, which I think you refer to the financial institutions. And Mark, I really want to know, how are they dealing with this, especially maybe in the last 6 months? Because for a while it seemed that they weren't taking action, but then now lately it seems like they're taking lots of action.
Lots of action.
How do you break it down?
It's back to the quote, and I wish I could remember the guy who actually said it, because everyone thinks it was not Mandela. I'm blanking. So it's the famous quote. First they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you, then you win.
Gandhi, I think they always give him credit for, right?
No one can credit, but there was some other guy who said it, but it doesn't matter. But so I argue that the 2009, which was the creation, the birth of Bitcoin, the first application of blockchain technology. I mean, blockchain goes back further than that, almost 30 years, but the first application. And 2009 to 15, first they ignore you. Whatever. Okay? Then they laugh at you. So 16 to 21, like, ha, 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 whatever, nerds and geeks. But then what happened is when $1 billion leaves the banking system, converts to crypto, who cares? Multi-trillion-dollar industry, $1 billion, no, who cares? 10 billion? Yeah, whatever. 100 billion? Okay, now this is a problem. So the incumbents, the banks, the financial system says, wait a second. Well, now we fight you. Well, how do incumbents fight? Well, they fight with regulation. And that's been the case forever. I mean, most people have no idea. Everyone's heard the term red flagging or red flagged. Red flag this. I ask people all the time, where did that come from? No idea. I'll tell you. So horse and buggies were de rigueur for years. And the horseless carriage was created. And the horse and buggy guys were like, no, we don't like that. We don't want that. So they paid a little something to the New York municipalities, and they passed a law called the red flag law. And if you had a horseless carriage, you had to hire a human to walk in front with a red flag to signal that you were coming so that you didn't run into the horses and buggies. No one's ever seen someone walking in front of a car with a red flag in that's alive today, but that was real. And so when the internet came out, right, they said, wait a second, why does it cost $3 a minute for Mark and Brian to talk on the phone overseas? That's ridiculous. You could do it for free. Well, free is bad for the incumbents, for the telephone companies. So they tried to pass a law. Again, lobbying, bribery. They tried to pass a law that would make voice over IP, which you and I are using right now, illegal. Now, Al Gore, who did not invent the internet, but did stop that bill in its tracks. So he does get some credit, right? He does get some credit. But now we're at financial services. And so starting a year ago, the incumbents, the banks were like, whoa. These companies that are taking money in a fiat system, which pays zero. So you put your money in the bank, they paid you zero. Then they would turn around and buy treasuries for 3, have a riskless trade. Life was good for the banks. Not good for customers, but good for the banks. You could take your money out. You could buy a stable coin, deposit it at a Celsius or a BlockFi or Voyager, and they would pay you 6% because there was a trading company that would use that stable coin as the other side of a long-short transaction, and they'd pay 15%. So you lend at 15%, you pay 6%, you make a nice spread, everybody's happy. Well, except the banks. So the banks called on the regulators to basically shut them down. They all got shut down. Then FTX comes in. Turns out there's a bunch of fraud. So now you got this whole specter of, fraud. Oh, it's a crypto failure. Oh, no. Bad person doing bad things, right? The FTX people stole money, which caused, you can't call them banks, but online financial services or decentralized financial services companies to have asset liability problems, which made them, to go into restructuring. But banks restructure all the time, right? We've had 538 banks fail since the global financial crisis. Forget the global financial crisis. Today, another one failed, Silicon Valley Bank. So it's not a big deal. They get restructured, they get merged in, everybody's fine. But where we are is that 6 to 8% you talked about of global GDP, that's $7 trillion with a T dollars a year of rents paid by people like you and me for stuff that we don't need. Like if I want to send you money right this second, okay, I don't have to have a bank account. I can hit a couple buttons on my phone and send you Bitcoin immediately or send you stablecoin immediately, okay, without friction. Like if I had a mother-in-law in El Salvador, which I don't, right? Max and Stacy are down in El Salvador. But if I had a mother-in-law in El Salvador, my mother-in-law was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. But if she were in El Salvador and I wanted to send her some money, she would get 70 pesos on the dollar. What? Well, Western Union takes a cut and the Bank of International Settlements owned by the Rothschild family takes a cut. This is crazy. Any money that moves across international borders pays to the Rothschilds because they set up a treaty 400 years ago. 400 years ago. And it's still, to this day, people are paying. I heard a great stat. This is amazing. Clan Rothschild is worth more than the other 3/4 of the population of the world. The bottom 3/4 of the world equals the Rothschild family. Anyway, wow. So here's the thing. If I sent my mother-in-law in El Salvador, my mythical mother-in-law in El Salvador, a Bitcoin, she would get 100 pesos on the dollar. And that's better. And if she used the Zap, it's a Strike app owned by Zap, which we are investors in, and Jack Mahler's, she again would get 100 cents on the dollar. And we use the Bitcoin blockchain. We actually don't send Bitcoin, but I can take fiat here. She gets fiat there. It gets converted to Bitcoin to go across the rails. And that's ultimately what's going to happen is this old legacy financial system, SWIFT, ACH, FedWire, old technology, horrible technology. I'll tell you one funny story about that, and I'll let you talk. So we had an experience where we had a client in Australia, and they got spoofed. They got hacked. And a wire transfer went to the wrong place because the hacker sent, information. Long story short, we called the bank to say, hey, can you help us try to track down the money? They're like, no, we lost the SWIFT message. What do you mean you lost the SWIFT message? Like, well, it comes on a fax and we can't find the piece of paper. I'm like, are you kidding me? There's no electronic copy. There's no track record of this SWIFT message to say where the money went. And no, that's bad technology. That needs to go.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public. And he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business. one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.